Alright gamers, today I'm going to be looking at a bunch of different video game books because in 2021, my gosh, we have so much variety, it boggles the mind. If we had this kind of selection back when I was growing up, I would have been a pig in heaven. What we're getting today is just amazing, and I wanted to kind of share some of these books with you because I love books. I own about 300 to 400 books. Personally, I just love reading. An interesting fact, the History of Video Game series that I did a while ago was actually based off this book right here, The Ultimate History of Video Games, which is a great book, by the way, if you haven't read it. I must have read through this like 50 times. It's just a fantastic read. But when I was a kid, I would always read Nintendo Power. Had a subscription. Every month I would read this thing cover to cover and then some. I mean, that's, I would read this thing and all the games coming out. So it was great. And now we've got all these books that are coming at us. And one of the newest editions that I really love is this NES Omnibus by Brett Weiss. I've been working with him a little bit. I'll actually be not featured, but I'll have some commentary in the second volume, and I'll let you guys know all about that. But I'm so excited about that. But everything he releases in this omnibus is in two parts. He has one for the NES and of course the SNES, and these are very, very detailed. And he goes video game by video game in alphabetical order. So many colorful pictures. I love it. He's got posters and just the best representation of every single title, which not a lot of people have done. I mean, he seems to have screen grabs of each game and a little bit of history and then commentary about each game to kind of get a feel if it's a piece of crap or not, which is great. Back in the day when I first started IRATE Gamer, stuff like this was very, very hard to come by. I mean, there was nothing like this. So it's just so cool to have books like this coming at us, the NES Omnibus. Another cool book that I'm really liking and digging is these NES Encyclopedias by Chris Scullion. He's actually released two of these. He's got the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo now. And the Super Nintendo, actually, he added in the Virtual Boy with that. And I can't wait until both these guys, start getting into like Genesis and Game Boy and Atari because, yeah, like I said, there's no complete visual guide that kind of collects this stuff together, and I just love having these. But his is a little bit different, so he puts 4 video games per page, so the page count is a lot smaller, and of course it's a lot lighter on your lap. And he gives, one thing I like about this is in each section he gives a little factoid that you might not know about the game. Battle Chess is probably the worst example there. And then, of course, with the more popular games, it takes up a full page or half of a page or, however it takes. And it's really cool because he's divided his sections into official games and unofficial games, which you could tell by the color of the top of the page there. So, yeah, a lot of goodness within these books here. And I just love these. Now, there's also this Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the Nintendo Library by Pat Contry, which is very detailed as well. He puts 2 games per page, which is kind of nice, with a lot of screenshots on the bottom. And he actually gives his reflections as well, as if it's a good game or not, if it's common or not, which is probably the only book that does that, so that's nice. Now, the only complaint I have with this is, man, this thing is like almost 500 pages, and this thing is a beast. I mean, if you put that on your lap, you're going to sink into the couch. But that's the only complaint I have. It probably would have served better as 2 volumes, but the one plus I love about this is he has an unreleased NES game section, which, is worth its weight in gold because nobody else has covered this topic like this. And I would love to see a book just focused on NES games because he's actually missed a couple that I've heard about, but nice list, of course. And the last few books on my list, I really like these 2. This is another book company straight out of the UK called Bitmap Books, and they sent me these books to show off here. These are incredible. I love these. They're the NES Visual Compendium. They've done a couple now. They've got Sega, Atari. They're just releasing the Game Boy one. I can't wait to see that. But there's a lot of goodness in here. What they do, this is a very visual book where they take the best sprites and layouts in video games that are visually appealing and put them in this book. And they blow them up, which looks really great. I just love this. And of course, yeah, good old Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. There's just so many great pictures in here. Over the years, they've got commentary and stories from the developers, which is a nice touch. And they don't do every single game, but they get the major ones out of the way. You know, Ghosts and Goblins and, yeah, Gumshoe. So, and that's pretty much par for the course for every game system that they've done here. Very visual books, which I really, really enjoy. So, and of course, when you stand all these up and put them in your shelves, the side art looks great as well. Gotta love it. I mean, it's just visually appealing on the side as well. But yeah, there's a lot of goodness here, and if you ask me to pick a favorite, I really don't have one, because each book has their own pluses and minuses, and they go into different details about the games. So, you know, I have a lot of thanks for these guys making these books, because these have helped out in a lot of ways with the IRATE Gamer Show. You know, before I do an episode, I'll kind of flip through these and see if there's a factoid or something that'd be interesting to put into the game there. And yeah, they're just invaluable sources, because I hate going to Wikipedia because half the time it's wrong. So yeah, I just love these books, and I can't wait till a few years from now when there's just a bunch of omnibuses and encyclopedias covering all the different game systems. It'll be amazing, because nothing like that has ever been made before. So, all right, guys, I hope you gave you some really interesting gift ideas for the future. These, like I said, I'm a book guy, so I wanted to kind of show these things off. I don't know how many people this appeals to, but it appeals to me. So, yeah, a bunch of gaming books. All right, guys, we've got a lot of IRATE Gamer goodness coming in the next month or so. I've got like 5 or 6 videos in production. It's all coming. It takes a while for editing and gameplay and everything pull together. So it's coming, and subscribe, like, all that good stuff. So thanks, and game on.